So, today I have this folder which my mum, when I was a kid, thought she would collect all my artwork in. She didn't get very far, obviously, but there is one image in, there's one drawing in here, which I am going to take, and today I'm going to redraw this in my current style. I was probably 7, 8 when I drew this. Miss Noodle Arms, the crazy hair, the tree which has the weirdest looking branches ever, the birds. There's a lot that can be improved here, obviously. I remember this one because my mum really liked it. Like, she sent a picture of it to Japan, to my family there, because she thought it was incredible. But yeah, so it's a world-renowned artwork. So first I'm just going to sketch out a few concepts for this girl's like facial expression, because I didn't really know which mood I wanted to have her in. Didn't know if I wanted to have her be like completely just irritated and just fed up with the whole thing, or which is what I was trying to sketch out here, just like slightly annoyed. Like, obviously, because this girl's face is going to be the focal point of the entire image, like dead center, her hair's coming out from it, and like her mood is going to be the basis of it. So I'm just going to sketch out a few ideas until I find a concept that I'm willing to run with, maybe play with a couple things. This one, she just looks kind of like disappointed, I guess. So yeah, I just sketched that out. Like, it's easier for me to like sketch it out first and then do it in the final piece than to try and do it like on the final piece and rub it out and try it again. This just helped me figure out like the tone I wanted for the piece. Because one thing I really hate about the original one is how random it feels. Like, there's no, like, Mum said I did explain the entire story behind it, but it doesn't come across on the picture very well. So yeah, whatever I was intending, it didn't come across well. This one I thought I'd be like have her completely oblivious to the situation, just listening to music. This is kind of the idea I went with, but I changed it a lot. I kind of played with a couple different things, and yeah. So yeah, like, it didn't really make a whole lot of sense. Like, why would there be a tree in her hair in the picture? It's not explained. Why is there a guy just tied up in her hair? That's not explained. Like, there's nothing, like, there's no story to it that I can see, apart from the fact that it's a girl with crazy hairdo. So I labelled the images just so I knew what I was looking at. And I had a basic idea of what I wanted to go for at this point, so now I'm just trying to work out what pose I wanted her in. You'll find later that I did not do enough sketching at this stage, because I had a few issues with this later on in the final piece, but for now, me just sketching out a couple ideas did give me the basis of an idea. And obviously these can be messy, like, I'm not going to look at these, they're just in a notebook, so. I thought maybe about having her, like, checking her nails or something. Yeah, I just trying to figure out a bunch of different ideas, because I decided to go with the slightly, like, just fed up look overall. But I did mix in the oblivious thing, because eventually I did decide to give her headphones, because I thought it'd be funny if, like, it was kind of like, just didn't really care, like, just typical teenager, stereotypical teenager. So yeah, this is what I'm sketching here. I'm just like sketching her on her phone. I decided to try maybe having her arm elevated like that, and just trying to make her look comfortable. Yeah, so this is the idea that I eventually went with, and I think this was a cool concept, and I just kind of like decided to run with this. But it kind of mixed in a couple of ideas from each sketch, and I was happy with it. So here I am going on to the final like piece that I'm just like sketching out the face. Just to like, this is just like starting off some basic sketch lines so I can figure out the form. I'm just trying to make her look very comfortable. Like, she doesn't really care that her hair is a complete mess and completely out of control. I will say, I think this image that I drew this drawing I did, I think it's pretty accurate to what would actually happen if you had hair like Rapunzel's. There is no way Rapunzel's hair stays as clean as it does, and isn't as annoying as it is. Like, because, like, I get my hair caught on stuff, and it's scarcely, like, it just, like, goes down past my shoulders. Like, and obviously that looks really stupid. The legs gave you a lot of trouble, so I rubbed that out. So, yeah. I'll go back to the sketching stage at this point to try and figure out a better image. I looked at some reference images of people just sat comfortably on the floor. So yeah, whatever that was with the skirt, that was really stupid. I originally wanted to keep her in the same outfit as she was in my original drawing, but there's no way I was giving her ribbon-tied ballet shoes, which is what she had in the original sketch. So I was like, why do I need to give her a skirt? I feel like giving her jeans was a lot more comfortable, and this is kind of what I ended up with. I think that looks a lot more natural than whatever the legs bent backwards on themselves thing I did just now was. I decided to give her like a poof thing to rest her arm on, and I do her face like she's just kind of like casually enjoying listening to music or whatever she's doing. I do the headphones. Like I also give her a headband because let's be honest, if your hair was that long, you would take some measures to keep it out your eyes. Like my hair gets in my eyes, and my hair doesn't go all the way across the room when I sit down. So yeah, she would be wearing a headband of some sort. I decided to keep the idea of having another person in the image because in the original there is a guy tied up in the hair. So I decided just to have a really like irritated guy who's just trying to cross the room. Like maybe a dad or a brother. Speaking of my hair, it really is getting everywhere. Maybe I can relate to this girl. My hair does have a tendency to go everywhere. Yeah, I just thought maybe this would be like an irritated dad or a brother who is just like yelling at her to sort out this situation. As he is completely tangled in her mess of hair. Just like swimming in it. And she just couldn't care less. It was a concept which made me laugh. So I decided to run with that. Yeah. I just try and make it look like the hair is just tied around him in a way that doesn't look too unnatural. I mean, obviously the entire situation is slightly unnatural. I don't think even if you didn't cut your hair once from the time you were a kid, I don't think your hair would be this long by the time you're however old this girl is. She looks like she's only about, 15, 16? So yeah, I don't think there's any chance her hair would actually be this long. But whatever. So I'm just making it like he's trying to just like balance, trying to untangle himself, just irritatedly, no matter what he does, there's more hair just everywhere and he's completely stuck and the girl is doing nothing to help him whatsoever. I know this is a bit more of a simple video than the ones I've been doing lately, but it's just because school started up again, I don't have the time to make models and stuff every week. I am going to be doing more small scale videos like this one. I enjoyed this. I added more hair and just more objects. I added in a vase of flowers, just off to the side like this, and I think this is kind of cute. I did try and keep it more or less the objects which were in the original, but I did try and make it a bit more logical. So I didn't just have random stuff tied to her hair. It looked like she was just sat down and then like things had just accumulated in her hair. So I decided to put in a vase of flowers with the water spilling over as she's like dragging her hair along. It's upset the vase, and I just try and make it look like it's just like swimming in the hair, like naturally, like gravity was just pulling it, rather than it being awkwardly balanced on. So I just continue adding in more clumps. I go onto this side of the page now. Decided to add in about this section so I could add in like a table that she's pulled over. Like it's kind of like the very extreme version of your dad telling you to clean up your room, except the entire mess in the room is caused by your hair being a nightmare, I guess. So I just try and make it look like this table's been pulled over. Honestly, the way I drew the table, it kind of looks like two of the legs are completely missing because there's no way they'd fit there, but it doesn't bug me too much and I like it the way it is. I try and make it look like the hair's running over it, and I just try and connect it back to her in a way that looks natural and like it is her hair. So I just go all the way down here and just I also tried to incorporate the idea of the tree that was in the original. I'm not great at drawing trees, but whatever, it has to be better than the noodle branch thing I did in the original, right? So I was like, yeah, I'll try it. I do end up rubbing out most of it because I wanted the image to make sense, but whatever. Yeah, I just tried to incorporate the idea of the tree in this piece because I thought it would be cool. So I just tried to have it look like the hair was just branching, like rolling through the branches, tied up. And I just tried to make it look as weaving throughout the tree, like she had maybe like climbed the tree at some point and then never untangled it. Or maybe something like that. I don't know how this would actually happen. But maybe it was really windy or something and her hair just got all tangled up in the tree. But whatever. I thought it was a cool concept. I thought about adding some birds in because there were some birds in the original image, but they get completely erased. So, rest in peace, birds. You weren't that detailed to begin with. So I added in a little like pencil pot there because there's a lot of like stationery, like there's a paintbrush in the original I decided to add in. So I just made it look like the pot had fallen over and all of the like stationery had just flowed out, just catapulting down her hair. A pen, pencil and a rubber, and there's going to be a sketchbook at the bottom just to kind of tie that section together. And I just try to look like it's slightly just natural looking, but like motion. I try to go out the motion by not like having the background on it. It like looks like they're floating, which is what I was going for. Try to make that look as natural as possible. Here's where I decided to rub out the majority of the tree and make it look like it's out of a window, because I do want this image to make sense. That is one thing I really wanted to improve from the original sketch that I did when I was a kid. So I was like, why would there be a tree in the same place as there's like a poof and like a vase and a stationery pot on a table? So like, why don't I put them outside so like I can still keep the tree, because I did want to keep some like ties to the original sketch. But yeah, the window frame gave me issues because it's like clear, like the glass in it's clear, so you can see a lot of the frame. But yeah, I had no idea what I was doing, and it still looks janky at the end. But whatever. I added in the skirting board to make it look like she's actually in her room. I try to make the whole place look comfortable, I guess. I added in a lamp just because I wanted something to fill that space over there. And I thought, why not? It's something that the hair could get tangled around easily enough. So I just do a lamp with a cord to turn it on, and I think it's kind of cute. So I didn't spend too long on that. I actually really enjoyed this. If you do want to see more of this, I'm sure I can find more sketches I did as a kid. I mean, like, I know I have like a bunch of sketchbooks from then. Even if that folder was empty, I'm sure I have plenty of terrible artwork from back then. And I really enjoyed this process, I'm not going to lie. So, yeah, I could always do more of this. Just tell me that if you want to see more. Yeah, just leave a comment about that. And bam, I do the line work. Because I didn't want you to see me draw the entire thing over again, because you don't need to see that. It was like literally nothing changed. It just got darker. So now I just attack the thing with my rubber to just get rid of all the sketch lines. I'd always enjoy this step. It does make it look a lot tidier. Yeah, I did some like cross hatching in places just to make the entire thing look cute, I guess. And I spent I just wanted the line work to put in there, because one thing I do want to add to this drawing that I did neglect in the first when I was a kid was colour. I didn't colour in the original, and I don't like colouring over pencil for some reason. I like colouring with a pen outline. I think it's what you're supposed to do anyway, right? So whatever. Here's where I got onto the colouring. I decided to give her red hair, because what I wanted to do was have the hair be chaotic and like bright and like ginger, but then like everything else would be in like blues and natural colours. To contrast that, I put something under the drawing just because like colouring with like nothing underneath it is really annoying. So I just put a piece of blue paper under there, just to like make things a bit easier to do. So I just sketch over it, touching up the line work in places. Because sometimes when I do line work, I'll just miss small sections because it kind of, like, obviously there's already an outline there, so it's hard to tell where you've already done, what you haven't done yet. So there will be places that I just touch up the line work here and there, and eventually I do add a lot of line weight variation and all that. But for now, just colouring in. This took forever. Like, the colouring in process felt like it took ages. And I know colouring with pencils does take a long time. But yeah, it took a long time. Like, probably upwards of, like, hours just colouring in these pencils. I do love how it comes out, though, so I'm not complaining. I think it looks great at the end. But still, it took a long time. A long time. So I just, colouring all the hair the same colour, like this just base brown colour. I will do a bit more shading and all that later on, but for now I'm just giving it a nice flat base to work with, as so. And I now add in some darker areas with a black colouring pencil, just lightly shading it in. It also helps really saturate the areas of pigment, because one thing that like makes like colouring in a pencils look better is to not have any white specks between the grains of colour, which is something you see differently between kiddie artwork and more grown-up artwork. Is, I say grown-up, but like more well-done artwork, you tend to see like it's just more completely saturated. So I just add in some shadows in the areas where there would be shadows, like under where parts of the hair are elevated, and it adds more depth, which really helps make parts of the hair pop. And yeah, I think it just really helps add some dimension to it. As so, now I just go back into small areas at a time and just start to really build up that colour, just to make it nice and solid, just one solid colour. Like, as I said, like you don't want to have any of the white showing through. I use 3 colours. I use a brown, a lighter orange for the highlights, and then a black or a really dark brown for the shadows. Which just adds a nice variation to it that makes it look really good. I like it. Big time. I really like it. I just colour that on. Just going over it. I add in a bit more like detail with the black fine liner to just add more like line weight variation, like give the outlines around the edges a bit more of a pop compared to just smaller lines in the middle. It just helps add something to the piece. Yeah, it just makes it look better. That's something you didn't see me do when I was an 8-year-old. Line weight variation. I didn't even use the outline, so that's not really an option back then, but whatever. Yeah, I do this like in all different places across the entire thing. Just kind of almost sketch it on just to build it up. I really like it. I think it looks good. So now I'm going to colour her in. I want to make her entire outfit be primarily different blues. I'm going to give her jeans, because one, that's comfortable, and 2, they're blue anyway, so what's the point of changing that up? It's a contrast to the orange because they're like opposite colours on the colour wheel, so it adds a nice level of contrast that I really like. So I'm just going to add some shading to her, and I do the headband in that dark blue colour, and I give her a nice turquoise jumper, because it's a bit of a contrast to the darker blue without it being a different colour profile, I guess. I think it looks really cute. So yeah, I just go with that. And I just try and make it look as saturated as possible. I give her a light blue, but like darker than the turquoise outline there. I bolden that outline. Yeah, I just wanted the colours to all go together on the character, so I give her blue socks as well. I do make a nice blue colour on the vase. It just adds a nice contrast to the orange to have everything else be not orange. Like, because if she was wearing orange, then the hair wouldn't look as chaotic. I do try and make the colours make sense. Like, I do use greens and yellows in the flowers where there would be green and yellow in real life. And all that. Colour on her phone. I also give him a blue shirt because, like I said, I wanted that all to match. Yeah, I just was having fun just trying to make the colour profiles all work. I was enjoying this a lot now. And as you can see, I'm really getting into the frame there. It's a bit awkward, but whatever. Yeah, I just sketched that in place. If you're wondering what AOD means, I had written on my hand. That was me reminding myself to Google what angle of depression is. God, I'm interesting, aren't I? Yeah. So yeah, I just use this orange colour to make a nice skin tone by just rubbing it lightly across. Makes a nice light skin tone. I didn't do too much saturation on that because I wanted it to be them to look quite pale. But just I don't get the impression this girl goes out a lot. Somehow. I don't think she gets out and about. So I then start colouring in the tree in the background. I don't know why. When I was colouring the tree, it kind of literally felt like I was colouring in a kid's colouring book. Because I always do trees in that. And they always look, the trees always have this exact style where the branches just disappear into the tree. But yeah, it just kind of felt like something that would be in a kid's colouring book. But I don't know. It might just be me. A bit weird like that. I don't mean I didn't like it though. I think it does look pretty cute at the end. So, no. You see what I mean about the slightly jacked up window frames, can't you? They're a bit of a mess. I wasn't really sure what I was doing there. But still. I colour in the blue of the sky outside. And I do the lampshade as well. The colours. Just browns and blues just to try and make it a nice neutral colour. Just building up the pigment there. And I do the stand part of it in the same way. Try and build up the colour and the base of the lamp. In the same way, I do the sketchbook too in a black because most sketchbooks you see are black. And I use like a peach to kind of like make the pages look like they have some colour. I use pink and blue on the rubber, like because it's one of those typical rubbers you see. And then I use this brown pencil to do the table. Figured it would just be a simple wooden desk table thing. I do the skirting board in brown. Just because it would be a wooden skirting board, most skirting boards are brown. I wanted it to look normal, like natural. But whatever. And then I use these wax crayon things to do the carpet because it's a larger area and these are just a lot quicker than colour pencils. To go over, they just go on easier and you don't have to worry about building up so much. And also it adds a nice texture and I wanted it to look like it was carpeted. And the texture of that helped. I used the same sort of crayon on the wall just because it kind of does just go down quicker. And by this point I was kind of done with colouring. I was really fed up. I was just like, I want to see this final image and yeah. But I was happy with this by this point, so I just signed my name and dated it in the top left corner, just to kind of tie it all together. Yeah, I think it came out really cute. So this is the original, and this is the new one. I asked my mum, and she said she preferred the original. Like, seriously. So yeah. That filled me with confidence. Personally, I prefer the new one. Big time. Because she's not, like, noodling arms with ballet slippers. But still, I do really like this new one. The colour, I think, really pops, and I really like it. But, so yeah. Thanks for watching. Follow me on Instagram at HannahMouseCrafts, and I'll see you next time. Bye!